let's talk about the different apps and platforms that I use on top of my Thinkific course. So remember that I am here to help you be able to design, create, and launch an online course. And each week I do post a new video here onto YouTube. So subscribe, hit that bell button so you are notified of the new videos that are uploaded each week to help you with course creation. So this week specifically, we are looking into a question that I've received recently on, do you use anything besides Thinkific for your courses? Yes, I do. And I don't use as much as I possibly could, which we'll look at later, but I do use a lot of different platforms to be able to support me, to be able to support my students in Thinkific. Now, there's a lot of platforms that I use, a lot of applications that I use throughout the designing and the creation of online courses. That's not what I'm talking about today, but if you do want to know more about what apps I do use to help me design it and create an online course, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to create a video for you. But today we are looking into the apps that I use to support my learners. So what do my learners have access to? How do I either use different apps to create a better learning experience, or other apps that I use for my own purposes to be able to manage my Thinkific course? So some different types of apps that I do use. I use Google Slides for different types of interactions, and we'll look at that soon. I use Articulate Storyline and Articulate Rise to also create different types of interactions. So when I'm talking about interactions, I'm referring to lessons that students will do at their own pace to be able to learn new things or practice new things as well. So it's not just a text lesson or just a video lesson, it's different types of interactions that are built into my course to support my learners. I also use Google Forms. Now this Google Forms, I prefer Google Forms over the Thinkific survey platform, because the survey platform, I have to go into Thinkific and look at each response, whereas Google Form, I can be alerted when someone fills in the Google Form and it's a lot more manageable. And we'll look at that shortly. I also do embed YouTube videos, and I also use other platforms to help me sell and manage my Thinkific courses. So that is that I use my Zoho website, and I also use Google Analytics and Mixpanel. So now that I've shared all of those, let's have a look at some of those in action. So here straight away I've jumped into Thinkific and I use the multimedia courses. The multimedia courses is how I embed different types of interactions or different interactive content. So first of all, this is how I've embedded the Google form. And what that looks like is this. So the students will go through the Google form. I've created this Google form specifically with different pages. You can have it all on one page so the student scrolls down everything. Okay, it's completely up to you. And the student moves through this Google form within the Thinkific screen. Another way to use multimedia, or another way to embed different types of courses, is using a text field. So this here is a text field, but what I've actually done is embed Google Slides. And the way that you can do this is by accessing the embedded version of the Google Slides. So creating an embedded version. We won't get into that right now, but if you want to look at how you can get the code to embed this into a text lesson in Thinkific, let me know in the comments below and I can create a video for you demonstrating how to get this content. But regardless, what I've done is I've now been able to display the Google Slides in this Thinkific course, and the student can then move through it. So this specific course is giving different ideas and options on different types of courses that you can create, or content that you can create for your lessons. So it goes through each one and gives more information. And this is a lot better than, what I feel, this is my personal opinion, is a lot better than just writing all the text down. Is someone can go straight into this course and they can go, okay, well, what are the different content types? And when they go in to start, they can say, you know what, I'm not interested in text, I'm not interested in video, but how can I use audio? And I want to see some different examples of audio that I can use. So that's an example of how I use Google Slides in my Thinkific courses. Now let's have a look at Articulate, Rise, and Storyline. In these particular examples I have here, these are Articulate, Rise courses, and these are a scroll type of course as well, where someone can click Start Lesson or click the lesson here, and then they go through and they're able to read more content. Now this here is a Articulate storyline that I've embedded into Rise, so someone can go through and complete the scenario. Now the benefit of this is that rather than giving someone all the answers, I'm giving them an opportunity to critically think, to resolve a situation or resolve a scenario with their existing knowledge, or they're learning through the process. For example, if they go through and click on a option, then they get instant feedback. So it's like a consequence that let's talk about. It's like a scenario that they have that has consequences to each decision that they make, and they get instant feedback. So they're learning through applying their existing knowledge. If you do want to know more about scenario-based activities, let me know. And again, I can create a video on how I can create scenario-based activities. To be able to upload Articulate Rise or Articulate Storyline zip files, you'll need to have the HTML file that you've exported, and you also need to have a Thinkific plan to upload them. If you'd like to learn more about how you can export these Articulate storylines or how I've specifically created mine here, let me know as well. Okay, so they are all of the different types of apps that I use to support my students. They were Google Slides, Articulate Storyline, Articulate Rise, and Google Forms that I use. I also have my website here that would list all of my online courses. So this is going through my particular website that I use, the Zoho suite for my website. I also use the Zoho suite for my communication with my students, so email communications. And here I can then, for example, go into a course that redirects me back to Thinkific landing pages. Finally, I want to end with Thinkific apps. So there is an app store that you have access to. In my app store, I have connected Google Analytics and Mixpanel to be able to understand more about people coming to visit my landing pages, what they're looking at, and I'm able to analyze more information. But what I really want to get into and really learn more about is these different apps, specifically these learning experience apps. So you can see there's different categories of apps that you can use. So these are platforms that exist outside of Thinkific, and it's a way that you can integrate them all within Thinkific so you can provide a better learning experience or a more streamlined marketing process or a more streamlined selling process. So a lot of different apps here for you to explore as well. I'm particularly looking forward to learning more about the learning experience apps and how I can improve the learning experiences I provide with different apps here. So I'll be happy to try one out and let you know about how useful they were for me, the benefits, the pros, the cons, whatever you would like. If you would like me to investigate a particular app, let me know, and I'll be happy to create a video for you. So that's everything for today. I just wanted to show you a little bit about what other apps that I do use for my Thinkific courses. Keep it in mind that this is only the apps that I use in regards to supporting my students through the learning experience, nothing to do with how I design or create my course, which these can be other videos if you wish. Remember, each week I do put a new video on YouTube, so subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button so that you're alerted when a new video is available. Until next time, happy course creating.